And here we are. We're back for another episode of the Mosh and Says Show.
Merry Christmas.
He always knows. Merry Christmas from out here at Camp Quitcherbitchin. I'm out here. You can see my flag flying behind me.
Chaz, before we get to anything else, we need a tour.
Need a tour. Okay.
We need a tour.
So behind me, you see there's my little fire pit.
Well, first things first, we got to let our listeners know. Tell us exactly what Camp Quitcherbitchin is to you.
Camp Quitcherbitchin. Are you there?
And you're back. Yeah.
I'm back. All right. I lost you too. So anyway, I don't know how much of that was recorded or not because I am out here in the middle of the woods. I am working off of Starlink. I have Starlink out here, the satellite dish. So who knows if it's going to cut in or out? I don't know. If it does, then we'll just figure this out another day. But Camp Quitcherbitchin is my little slice of heaven away from everything and everybody. I'm out here. It's 2 hours away from my house. The only way to get to my camp is 4-wheel drive.
That's awesome.
So that's my new truck. That's my side-by-side that I ride around out here. So it's my little escape from the world. And there's my little fire pit. That's my tree that was knocked down in the hurricane, but now I have firewood all winter. So I'll be golden. Yeah, so all that land out there, all the way up to the bushes is all mine.
Dude, that's amazing. I see you got a lot of chairs out there, though. Do you normally bring people up with you, or is it just a solo escape?
No, it's more if I have friends out here. So if they come over and then I bring Amber out with me. Amber's sitting in the cabin. So my camper's right here on the other side. I'm looking at the camper. So I got the chair, so I'll put the cushions on them so she can lay on the cushions when we're sitting around the fire. And I just have different chairs. I have a couple of rocking chairs. I have a zero gravity chair that I nap in. And then I have a couple of those Adirondack chairs right there because those are just really comfortable sitting around the fire and smoking a cigar. And having a little beverage. That's all it's about.
What more could you ask for? You got a little Blackstone grill out there, some coolers.
Yeah, I got the Blackstone grill. I got the coolers. I run everything off solar powered generators. So it's it's just my escape. I came out this Thursday. I'm leaving on Sunday. Out here for 4 or 5 days. Tonight, up at the front, they have this huge area called the playpen, where it's just dirt and mud. People get up there in their side-by-sides and their quads, and they just plow through it and have a good time. They're doing fireworks up there tonight. I was here last year for the fireworks. It was incredible. So they're doing fireworks. And then today I actually had a first in my side-by-side. I was out riding by myself, and I'm cruising, and I see this big so my side-by-side pretty much goes through everything and anything. It's lifted. It can go through everything and anything. And I hit this black muck and went, done.
You got stuck?
Stuck. I was more stuck than Flick's tongue to the pole. I was.
Oh my God!
So fortunate for me, I do have a winch hooked up to the front. But the more fortunate part was it was like a 50-yard walk to a bunch of people who had their side-by-sides there and a couple of quads. So the kid came around with his quad and hooked up to me and eventually got me out. So I literally was stuck probably for an entire 10 minutes. But
still even with that, what a way to recharge your batteries. Like, it is literally an escape from everything, which is ironic because, despite your shoot job aside, you've never really struck me as the type of person that likes to escape, namely from the people who have supported you. And that's going to bring me to the topic I really wanted to chat with you about. You and I talked off camera about a very poignant exchange that happened on Monday Night Raw this week between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn cut what those in the know would refer to as a worked shoot promo. But a lot of the things he said resonated especially with you, Chaz. And there's something that you wanted to touch on here on the show and something that I want to add on top of it after you give us your thoughts.
Yeah, so basically Drew McIntyre opened up Raw last week, and he was talking about how the fans have forgotten him, how he had to, after the Hell in a Cell match, he went home to Scotland, and, he doesn't have friends and family around him because, he's from Scotland, and the boys in the back don't like him, and like he went back, and no one asked him where he was. No one so. Finally, in the middle of it, Sami Zayn comes out, and he has a microphone, and he basically tells him to literally quit your bitching. He was like, quit your bitching. He goes, it's not, you chose to be in this industry. You chose to be in this business. I chose to be in this business. Everyone that chooses to be in this business knows what to expect. That expectation is being by yourself, being away from family, missing holidays, missing graduations, missing birthday parties, missing everything because you're on the road all the time, but you chose to do that. I chose to do that. I can tell you this, Glenn missed his oldest daughter's first birthday because we went to Memphis. He missed the first birthday. I mean, I missed a lot of my niece's basketball games, a lot of her school graduations and like that. But Sami Zayn came out cutting a promo saying you chose to do that. And now you're sitting here shitting on all of these people when if it wasn't for all of these people, you wouldn't have a job. You wouldn't be a superstar. Without these people, I wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't be a superstar, but we chose to do this. So I really liked it. It resonated with me because it's 100% true. Glenn and I say it all the time because when we do conventions or we do a show and fans come up to us like, you guys are so nice. And, you sit here and you talk to us and, there'll be a guy down there, XYZ wrestler down there. He was just like, no personality, just signed it and scribbled some letters on there and handed you the paper. And, you walked away. There was no interaction, but we say it all the time and we say it right to them. Without you, the fans, we are not superstars. We are nothing. We have nothing without you. So why would we not want to interact and try to make this the best experience possible for all of you? And one of the things Glenn and I focus on is not just having a great interaction with the adults. If an adult comes up and they have kids, to us, the adult's not even there. We focus all on the kid because then the kid turns around and looks at the adult and wants to buy all the stuff we have. So
smart.
But 100%, if it's not for them, we have nothing. I said it to you earlier when we were talking about this. If it wasn't for anybody who's watching this, we wouldn't have this podcast if nobody watched it. So,
and that's, I was gonna point out it's not just about the stuff you miss. It's also a level of showing appreciation for the people that are literally paying your bills. If no one gives a moist fart about you, you're just another face in the crowd, right? And I've known you for, almost 15 years. I've seen it firsthand. I've read about interactions with you and Glenn, and I've had people that I know you come up and tell me you guys are two of the most personable, down to earth. And it's not just me kissing your butt because you are family to me. It's true. And I've had exchanges, interactions, lackluster experiences with guys that I grew up watching that could not have been bothered to do more than put their name on a picture and then send you right along. And then there's you guys. You goof off. You make memories, and that's gonna last longer than anything else. And you make new fans, like you said.
It's all about the experience. Like we talked, I don't know, whatever episode back or whatever about my experience with Pete Rose. That experience right there made me say going forward, hey, I'm going to make sure I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure no one ever walks away from me and can talk to me like that, like I do about Pete Rose. Because again, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and there is a fine line between maintaining the integrity of being a heel in wrestling, and just being a douchebag who obviously is not playing their character. You're just making this person feel like they're a bother to you.
Right. Yeah. And again, the bigger bother would be to them or to me or to you, to anybody, is if they weren't watching or if they weren't buying tickets, they weren't showing up. That would change everything. And the other funny part about it is when we do the conventions and we have these vendors like High Spots brought us in, a few weeks ago to do the appearance in Ohio, they had a bunch of pictures. Or we were at the wrestling, the wrestling collector, we're at Tommy Fierro's store. Tommy was like, hey, do you mind signing some of these? We're like, no, you're paying us a certain amount of money to be here for whatever hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5, whatever it is. Whatever you want us to do, we're going to do it. So if that's literally just signing 100 pictures for you, because you can now take them and put them in different packages that you put together and sell, and however it is you do to get your money back for having us there, then that's what we're going to do. And I share that because you hear all these horror stories of other guys, other wrestlers who are like, I'm only signing 10 of them. I'm only, they put a limit on how many they will sign. It's like, they're paying you to be there 3 hours. Just do whatever the hell you're asking you to do, because what else are you going to do? Sit there and stare at a wall? Because, you know, the appearances are great. Like Tommy's store was awesome. It was steady. It wasn't like a packed line where you had like a line of Albert. You'd have like 2 or 3 people come in, and then it would be like a 5-minute lull. Then you have like 2 or 3 more people in. And that appearance there, we had people driving in the snow 3 hours to come see us.
Holy cow.
So it's like, yeah, people drove up to 3 hours. There was one guy that actually drove like 25 minutes. And we're like, oh, you don't really count because you only drove 25 minutes. This guy drove 3 hours, and it snowed that morning. So, but my point is, if it wasn't for them, we would have nothing, and we would have nothing. You and I would have nothing to talk about right now.
We've mentioned before, like how crazy it is to me, like the things that you have done that are going to outlive you long after you're gone. The record books, the moments in wrestling history. But I mean, like, I hope to God that I never reach a level of delusion where it is lost on me that my signature is valuable. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, people are literally paying for you to sign your name. Or it's one thing to get paid to be in the ring and perform. You're performing a service, you know, whether you're on WrestleMania or you're on an you know, Outlaw Mud show. If you wrestle, you should be paid. Well, if you're trained, if you know, obviously all that, but you know,
Right.
but to get paid to take a picture with someone or to sign your name and to shit all over that is just so astronomically ignorant to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's guys, and I know them. Obviously, I'm not going to mention names, but I know people like that who don't want to do it. They act like you said, they act like it's a bother to be there. And I'm like, this is brilliant to be here. Like I'm getting paid to sit here and meet people and take pictures and sign autographs and sign action figures. I'm like, yeah, really? Like, it's mind blowing.
Action figures of yourself. Action figures of yourself immortalized in plastic.
Yes. Yes.
You know what amazing. It reminds me of, Chazer? It reminds me of when you hear these stories of folks that go to a concert for some big-time musician, and the person performing is like, well, I don't want to do any of my hits. I'm tired of playing all the popular songs that made me millions of dollars.
Yeah, let me play these new songs that no one's heard and no one cares about, and no one's heard about them because they all suck.
Yeah. Here are all my terrible favorites. You guys, thanks for buying a ticket that costs an arm and a leg. I'm gonna play nothing that brought you here.
Right. Exactly.
It's
exactly
insane.
It would be like going to see Billy Joel and him not singing Piano Man. I mean, come on, just stop it.
Yeah, like how mad would you be? Now, granted, there's some people that can get away with it that have such a discography of great songs that even if they don't play their biggest hit, you have enough stuff you can tap your toes to. But yeah, man.
No, but if Billy Joel doesn't play Piano Man, I'm storming the stage. He's got to play Piano Man. He's got to play Piano Man and Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. If he doesn't play those two, then I just wasted my money.
Headbanger Mosh versus Billy Joel is the main event no one thought we needed.
Let's go. I'm ready. There's a fantasy match. We'll talk about fantasy matches later, but that's a fantasy match right there.
I just found out Pearl Jam is coming back to Florida next year. It's the only concert I've ever been to. I've never been to any. Well, I mean, I've been to Mardi Gras, Universal, and stuff, but Pearl Jam is my favorite band of all time. I saw them in 2016. I bawled like an idiot because I was so overwhelmed. But yeah, they didn't play either of my 2 favorite songs, and I was still happy as a clam.
Well, I have a great Billy Joel story that we can touch base on another time. Yeah, another great Billy Joel story. So.
Oh, well, if you want to tell it now, I'm all ears.
All right, I can now. I mean, it basically, I don't remember how old I was, but my ex had gotten me tickets to go see Billy Joel at the Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida.
Okay.
So we're running late, and I'm like, let's go. And she goes, well, I have to go into the restroom. And I'm like, all right. So I'm waiting, and she gets out and she's walking down, and she says to me, she goes, there's some guy that's been like eyeballing me and following me. And I look at her and I go, yeah, no shit. Your tits are up here. Your dress is barely covering your ass. Everyone's looking at you. I'm like, let's go. I don't want to miss a second of this concert. So we're walking and she keeps turning. She's like, he's still following us. And I'm like, I don't care. Let's go. So we get on the elevator because our seats were up in the balcony area. We get on the elevator. The guy gets in and she's poking me and pointing like, he's right there. He's right there. And I go, shut up. I don't care. Like, what do you want me to do? Confront him in an elevator with 15 other people and go, why are you following us? Like, maybe he's just going to his seat. So we get off the elevator. We walk up the couple steps. And now we're up where we're supposed to be sitting in the balcony area. And it's literally like 7:58. The concert starts at 8 o'clock. And I'm handing the lady my tickets, and she's telling me where to sit. And then all of a sudden I hear this guy going, excuse me. And I turned around, the biggest asshole ever. I looked at him. I go, what the fuck do you want? I go, you got my wife here all crazed. Like somebody's following us. I'm like, what do you want? I go, I just want to sit and listen to Billy Joel. Like I was so good, and I was being such an asshole to this guy. The guy literally could have just been like, well, fuck you, and walked away. But he looked at me and he goes, do you want to sit up close? I went, what? He goes, do you want to sit like right next to the stage? And I'm like, dude, I go, now you're messing with me. I go, I just want to sit right here and listen to the concert. He's like, and the usher, she looks at me and she goes, you might want to listen to him. I turn around, I looked at him, I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I work for Billy. Billy Joel, for every concert, buys out the first 2 rows. And then he sends this guy up to the nosebleeds to bring people down to sit in those seats.
What?
I looked at him. I said, if you're fucking with me, I said, I will kill you. I said, if I miss one note of one song, I said, I will kill you. He looks at me and he starts laughing. He's like, bro, relax. He goes, you're not going to miss 1 second of anything. He goes, because Billy doesn't start until I get down to the bottom. He goes, and I have 4 seats to fill. He goes, would you like 2 of them? And I was like, sure, that would be amazing. Dude, I kid you not. I'm second row. I'm 20 feet away from Billy Joel. Whoever was sitting in front of me knew Billy, because as Billy's jamming away on the piano, he's jamming away like this. He's looking over here having a full conversation with the guy in front of me. I was like,
what?
I was mind blown. Yeah. So literally the first concert, Billy, I've seen Billy probably 5 or 6 times now. The first time I saw him, that was my experience, was I got to go. And again, I used the word experience. I got to sit second row. Literally, I could, like, if he was sitting there drumming his fingers, like on the top of the piano, just like this, like I could have heard him so well, he didn't need a microphone.
That's whole.
And it could have easily never happened because I was such an asshole to this guy. Because again, my ex was making it a big deal that this guy was following her, and she, like, but it worked out perfect, and it was one of the best experiences I ever had.
See, that's amazing. I had not to that extent, but when I saw Pearl Jam in 2016, I forget where I wasn't gonna go, and then I ended up being. I was able to go. We go down there. I hadn't bought tickets, so I'm with a buddy, and we go up and say, look, there's 2 tickets in a decent part. We go to get them. They charge my account, but the tickets don't go through. So I try again. They charge my account. They don't go through. 3 times, Chaz, my account got charged, but somehow the ticket purchase didn't go through. So I go inside to try to talk to someone, and Wells Fargo tells me, hey, you've met your spending limit for the day. Because it was like over like $2,000 that I had spent on these tickets that never. So I'm panicking. It's like 5 minutes to 9 before the concert starts. So I put my hand in my fanny pack and I give all the cash I had to my buddy. I go, hey, just go inside. I don't care where we sit. I don't care if we have to sit with the janitor. Get us tickets. 5 minutes before the show, he comes in, he shows me the tickets, and I freaking can't believe it. They had just opened up the friends and family section of right where the seats start to rise, and that's where we sat. And if you go to the official Amalie Center YouTube page, they have videos of all the individual songs they played. The camera was across from where our seats were. So in every single video of every single song, when they get a close-up of Eddie Vedder, I'm like the devil over his shoulder, dancing like a jackass, losing my mind in every song.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But see, it's about the experience. It's what
experience.
Yeah, yeah. It's all about the experience. That's
and
awesome.
you know, the experience counts for, you know, being in your seat, watching the show, just as much as if you happen to come across a fan in the parking lot. Or obviously there are boundaries. You know, you guys have very little time to yourselves. If you're in a restaurant or traveling on a red-eye flight, nobody wants to be bothered when they're tired or
Right.
hungry or anything like that. But it also depends on the etiquette of the fan. Am I right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've been out eating at a restaurant, and people have come up with like a pad and paper, a pad of paper and a pencil or pen. Like I'm mid, like, and they're like, "Hey, can you sign this?" I'm like, and you stop, because that's when celebrities get a bad rap, because you want to stop and you want to look at them and go, "Really, dude? Like, I'm freaking eating. Like, can you let me at least eat?" Like, so you try to be a little bit nice. And I'm like, I have no problem signing, taking pictures where you went. Can I just finish my meal? Like, I'm out with my friend or whoever you were out with, girlfriend, whatever. Like, just, can you let us finish and then bother me with it? Can I at least eat? Um, I mean, back in the day when you could get through security at an airport, we'd get off the plane and come into the gate area, and there'd be 100, 150 fans standing there. And you're like, oh, like you just got off a flight, you know, you're exhausted or whatever. And you walk out, and then you got to be, you know, Glenn and I were always, you know, upbeat and high energy. And so it's always like, you're always have to be on, because if you're not, that's when but the people like that who bother you and harass you all the time, you kind of know why celebrities go off every now and then. And sometimes it's justified, sometimes it's not. It depends on the situation. But again, you get off the airplane, you're trying to get through to get to wherever you got to go, and you duck into the bathroom, and you have to go into the cubicle, the stall of the bathroom, to just try to get away from someone to pee. Because if not, you're standing there at the urinal. They're standing right next to you. I'm like, do you want me to pee on you? Like, what are you doing? Do you like the view? Like, what's going on here? Yeah, so it's about etiquette when it comes to being a fan. Like, yes, we have our jobs. Without you, we don't have the jobs. But at the same time, have the etiquette and be a little respectful back to us on personal time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've seen the videos with John Cena talking about, you know, people just randomly pull out their phone and start recording him. And
Yeah.
there's a very famous video of him confronting the guy and saying, "Hey, you didn't ask for permission. You didn't make human contact. I'm not some wild animal that you can just start recording." You know,
Right.
And it's a different form of entertainment. But for our listeners that don't know, besides being in the wrestling business, I am a trivia host. And I recently had an interaction, Chaz, and you've been to one or two of my shows, where there was something questionable about one of my answers. And one of my regulars came up very timidly and said, "Hey, Simon, you might want to check this." And they were right. My answer was incorrect. And I said, "Hey, thanks for that." And they said to me, "Yeah, we just know that you don't like being argued with," which blew my mind. And I said, "No, no, no. My issue isn't with being corrected. My issue is when my answer is wrong and somebody throws their cell phone in the air and goes, ah, wrong, that's wrong." If you privately come up to me and go, "Hey, you might want to double check that," I need to know these things. I need
Right.
to know that something I'm asking is incorrect. But if you're making a clown of yourself, then I'm going to be douchey back, because
Well, they're
there's a way
trying
to
to
do things.
they're being a clown of themselves, and then they're trying to knock you down.
Yep.
Is when they do that. Like you said, like if someone just raises their hand and even out loud, like in front of us, says, "Hey," on the, and we're back.
Yep.
So you can very quietly sit there, just raise your hand and go, "I think that's wrong."
Yep.
But to and hold your phone up, because first of all, you're not supposed to be on your phone anyway when you're doing trivia, you morons.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. One of my favorite stories was I asked which organ of the body stores bile. And I think the answer is gallbladder. I think the liver makes it, and one way or the other. Anyway, I give the answer, and a guy at my most packed show where I've been at for 15 years goes, "Ah, wrong." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, let's say the answer was the gallbladder." He goes, "It's the liver." And I said, "No, I asked which one stores it." And he goes, "Ah," and keeps making this sound. So I pull up the whatever science, Britannica, whatever, and read it out loud. And he goes, "Oh, that's not what I heard." And the entire crowd, Chaz, like 80 something people collectively go, "Ah!"
That's what I was gonna do. Get out.
And
Get out.
and the guy comes up to me and says, "You don't have to be so rude about it."
Yeah. Morons.
Yeah.
Morons.
Yeah, and the guy was up in arms. The guy was up in arms to tell me, he goes,
because he wanted.
Yeah, he goes, you don't have to be so rude.
Well, he was mad because he was trying to embarrass you, but in you being right, he ended up embarrassing himself. So the only way to counteract that is with anger and firing another shots back, hoping you're going to fire back again, because then that justifies his stupid behavior. That's all he was looking for.
Yeah. Well, I'm petty as hell too. And obviously I don't look like you. I don't have your physique. The thing I'm known for is being able to do this. So if you want, I always tell people, hey, the last thing you want to do is get into a war of words with me, because not only do I have the microphone and you don't, I will eviscerate you. I will eviscerate you.
The microphone's the best part. I use the wedding singer line all the time. I have the microphone and you will listen to every damn word I have to say.
Do you remember what your team name was the very first time you came to my trivia show at that bar called Patty's in Winter Park?
No. I know who I was there with, but I don't remember the team name. No.
You son of a bitch. Your team name was I wish this microphone was a penis.
I don't.
You made me say it every round.
That's funny.
Well, Chaz, we only have a few minutes left, and I wanted to ask the question on everybody's mind. What did you get for Christmas?
I got some essential stuff. I got some clothes, which I needed. I don't ever buy clothes for myself. But I got for out here at Camp Quitcherbitchin, I got these great neck sleeves, a bunch of them, because they go over your head and they cover up, because it gets very dusty and dirty out here. So you're not picking dirt boogers out for a week after you leave. Some goggles to be out here. Some essential stuff. It wasn't a whole bunch. I'm at the point now, for me, Christmas and birthdays, I get a couple of things. It's great, but I get a better joy of giving gifts than I do receiving them. I get a bigger kick out of like giving Tyler some stuff, stuff that either A, he thinks he wants or needs, or things that I know he's going to need down the road. Like I bought him.
No, that's awesome.
You'll laugh at this, but I bought him his first power drill. Bought him his first power drill with the drill set. I'm like, he goes, I don't know when I'm going to need this. I go, you don't know. I said,
always.
You know how many times you've needed this and not known it? He goes, no. I go, every time I come up and I bring mine. I said, now I don't have to bring mine. You have your own. I said, and then I got him a really nice watch, a really, really nice watch, because he's in the fraternity. He's wearing suits now and he's going out more. And I said, this is like a really nice watch. You're putting your suit on for a frat event, or you're going out on a date or whatever. Like, it's like little things like that he doesn't know he needs, but he's going to need stuff like that.
He's a grown ass man now, dude. That is so wild.
Dude, I don't know if you can. He'll probably get mad. I'll show you afterwards.
I think the last time I saw, like, we were all together, Ben and Dexter were still like little babies,
I'll show you the picture when we get off. He's huge. He's bigger than I. He's taller than I.
That is insane to me.
Yeah.
Well, I showed you what I got for Christmas, but I'm gonna share it on the page too. I had a very Headbangers holiday. I got a brand new Headbanger shirt, and finally, I got my Elite 2-pack of you guys. Dude, those are a hot commodity.
They're a hot commodity, and we love when we're doing appearances and signing those. And when we do appearances, there's no lie. There's like at Tommy's school last week and Hotspots last week before, and then the K&S stuff we did, we've had to have signed probably close to 1,000 of them. I don't know how many we made, but yeah, you're just sitting there signing them, and I'll do it all day long.
There's the other set that you have up on your bookshelf. I forget the company, but they look like Hasbro's of you guys. I'm not gonna lie. They have the prototype. They have the prototypes up there for $600, and I've contemplated dropping the change on them.
Really? Where at? You have to send me. All right, send me that. Don't do it now. Send it to me after the fact when we get off here, so I'll look at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Well, Chazer, as our last show of 2024 comes to an end, I want to say a great big thanks to everybody who listens, comments, shares, likes, spreads the word. I know we've had some technical difficulties on this episode, but we hope you guys have enjoyed it, and we thank you guys for sticking with us. Do you have any New Year's resolutions, Chaz? Well,